Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another TPM Tactical video. Today's video is going to be on how to generate your own Navmesh, whether you're creating your own terrain or you've placed some objects down that you need those the Navmesh generated so the AI can navigate around it and not run into the buildings or try to shoot through it. Also in a situation where, for example, 1.6 is just released and it has actually broken the Navmesh for every modded map, and each mod dev needs to go around and regenerate their Navmesh. So while you're waiting for the mod devs to get the time to actually produce or regenerate their own Navmesh, you can create one yourself within your own mission and then apply that. So basically, yeah, that's what we're going to cover off on. But before we jump in, if you're enjoying these videos, again, please hit that like and subscribe. Leave a comment below of any other tutorials you'd like to see or videos you'd like to see. And yeah, let's continue on. Okay, so I've already got the Infusion Workbench launcher here open. So down the bottom left, I'm going to go add project and then create new project. Let's call this TT, which I always do. Zarichny Navmesh. So find Zarichny here. I'm just going to add it quickly as a, where is it? No, I'll add it after. Hit and create. So I'm choosing Zarichny. Zarichny has been updated since I tested it the other day. However, I haven't updated on my computer for the purpose of this video. So Zarichny was one of those mods that have been released have been not yet had the Navmesh updated to allow for the AI to be moving around and working correctly. So I'm going to go file here at the top left, go to project settings. Under dependencies, I'm going to click the plus, the two little dots. And now I'm just going to navigate to where Zarichny is located to add it as a dependency. My games, Arma Reforger add-ons, Zarichny, oh there we go. Add that, done. Just going to save that, close it down and reopen. Okay, so here's my project that I've created, TT Zarichny Navmesh. Awesome, so let's go in here. We're going to open the world editor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the default Zarichny Game Master mission to show you that the AI is not working due to the Navmesh has not been updated. I'm just going to hit play. Might even pop some of the warnings here. Yep, yes to all. See if we can find the Navmesh related. So here we go. This is an example of a what it's saying since 1.6. The Navmesh blah 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 is obsolete. It should be regenerated. Okay, so if I place down the AI here and tell them to move, let's force move them. They'll just stand here. The SL calls the commands, but no one moves. And it's not paused, so everything else is moving, but the AI won't move. So that again is due to that Navmesh. Okay, so let's get that fixed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a blank world of Zarichny. So no game modes, just the terrain itself. In here I'm going to create a new subscene. So file, new subscene, okay. Now this creates that scene in which the subscene in which I can now create my own game mode in. I'm going to save this quickly. So save world as, go into my mod, going to create a new folder called worlds. Inside this folder in here, I'm going to create another one now and call it Navmesh. I'm just going to use this worlds folder for the time being. Let's call it TT, so tpmtactical underscore Zarichny Navmesh test. Also, it's now saved. I'm just going to rename this to alpha underscore managers, just to keep things organized. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to put down a manager here called scr_AI world. So scr underscore AI world. Here it is here. So I'm just gonna click and drag this into the world. What's it going about? This is not the only A world present. Yep, that's all right. Ignore. Sweet. I now have that there in the world. So Control S to save. And now over here on the right hand, actually sorry, up the top here, we're looking for this little arrow here. So this is the tool for Navmesh generation. If I click on that, and then down the bottom right here, I click on Navmesh tool, and here we are. So I'm just going to quickly check to make sure my cursor is visible in my recording, so that could be awkward. Okay, so what we're going to do now, so there's 3 different Navmeshes we need to generate. So soldiers, BTR-like, and low res. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click soldiers. This part here we don't need to technically click on to do the generation. However, just gives me a little reminder as to where I'm up to. So clicked on soldiers, now I'm going to go to generate. From here, I'm choosing just soldiers, okay, okay. And now it's going to go ahead and generate the Navmesh for the soldiers. So you can see there's an ETA here of 1:30. So I'll speed this up once it's finished for the video. Okay, so now you can see it's finished and it's generated the Navmesh. Down the bottom here, we want to go to Save Navmesh. Save. We want to go to Other. And now I want to navigate to my mod, so where it's located. So that's going to be, where is it? In Documents, My Games, Arma Reforger Workbench, because it's the mod that project you're working on. Add-ons, and here it is, TT's Richly Navmesh. Go into Worlds, and then in my Navmesh folder I created earlier, and here it is. So this is the soldiers one. So again, like I selected this up here earlier, so I remember what I actually was generating. So I'm going to call it TT Richly Navmesh. What do I call it? Soldiers. I'm just going to copy this path so I remember that. It's easy to find later. And then save. Now what I'm going to do, BTR like, so I'm going to go generate, change this to BTR like and go okay, okay, and it's now generating the BTR like, which is your vehicle Navmesh. Again, ETA is a minute, so I'll let it do its thing and I'll speed this part of the video up. Okay, so it's just finished generating the BTR like Navmesh. Again, I'm going to go to Save Navmesh, Other. Going to go into here, my folder and within my world, so Navmesh folder within my worlds folder. I'm going to call this BTR like here. Hit click save, and again now I'm just going to do low res. So generate, select low res, go okay, and okay. Nice and quick. Awesome. Again, save Navmesh, click on Other. Same location. This one is now called low res. Okay, so I've generated the 3 Navmesh that I require. However, how are we going to test that? So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to delete this, and I'm actually going to use the plugin to generate a Game Master mission. Get it to scan the world. Yep, that's just telling you that these need to be in the world. They're currently not there. So we want to create those entities. Next, I'm not going to create a mission header, so I'm going to skip that. And close. Okay, so what we need here, let's just do the map entity quickly. I'll point it to the Richly data, topo map, and then the satellite background image. Pretty sure that will be there. Awesome, so save that. So this SCR AI world, so there's these 3 components here we need to basically point them now to our new Navmesh. So this one here is low res, so Navmesh file, I'm going to navigate to, so normally you would just let it go to these here, which is the original ones within the Richly mod. However, being that they are out of date and we've created our own, we're going to utilize our own. So within the mod that I've just done, created, worlds, Navmesh, and now what we're doing, low res, selecting low res and going OK. Going to do the same for BTR and the soldiers. The only thing different here with the soldiers one, Navmesh files config, click set class, and then navigate to the soldiers Navmesh. Okay, Control S. Everything else should already be set. It's got all the default settings for a game master mode. If I hit play. Oh, actually one thing. Actually, it's probably a good demonstration. If you've set it to your new Navmesh and you get in, yeah, let's ignore that. Oh. You set your new Navmesh and get in, there's a good chance that the AI won't do anything yet. I need to close down the world editor and reopen it. Yep, so you can see they're not moving. So what I want to do now is back out of the world editor. Just going to make sure I've saved that. Yep, close that down. Just go open the world editor again, load up my mission. So rather than going file, load world, this here is like the history, the last one that you've worked on. Okay, so let me just confirm this Navmesh is still pointing to my ones. Yep, awesome, let's play. Oh, and of course it crashed. Let's get back in and try that again. Good old post major updates. Into the world editor. Hit play. Yes to all. Okay, so now if I place down some AI, I've done it all correctly, they should move. There we go. And now they're off to go do whatever you tell them to do. So that's how you generate your Navmesh. The same process works if you've placed down, maybe you put down some houses, whatever, buildings, roadblocks, you go through the same process. So let's say, not M, my bad, that doesn't bring my map up in here. Let's make this a bit bigger. So say here we have this BTR rec. Maybe we want to put down, I don't know, we got sandbags. Let's just, hold on, make another layer. Let's miscellaneous. Set that as active. Maybe we want to chuck down an area just to keep things nice and tidy. Within this area, I want to chuck down some sandbags. Help if I could spell. I'm not going to worry about setting these up nicely. Let's say you put down some sandbags or whatever other objects that you want to place down in the world. And then once you've done that though, and you are creating a bit of a, an op or a campaign or whatever's going to be utilized for AI, all you're going to do now is again, click on your, make sure your SCIA world is still active there, managers there, click on the little Navmesh tool at the top, down the bottom right, go to Navmesh tool, and we want to go to regenerate. I believe you can just generate an area around what you have now placed. I haven't looked into that too much yet. Otherwise, just go through the same process, soldiers, generate, BTR generate, and then low res generate. Save them over the original ones, close the world, reopen it, and now the AI will move around these. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully that helps a few people out, especially when there's a big update like this and, Zarichny, Takistan, all these other massive maps that people enjoy playing on, but then they suddenly can't play their campaign or can't play their PvE op because the Navmesh is now broken. You can do it yourself and then you've saved it in your world. So Again, those the nav meshes are now saved within my mod. If I publish a mod, I can access it and play it like normal. So yeah, hopefully that's helped out. If you have any questions, queries in relation to this, feel free to leave a comment below. Feel free to send me a DM on Discord. Just search TPM in the Arma Reforger Discord. Happy to try and answer questions if I can. I definitely don't know everything about Arma, so I'm always learning myself. But if I can help you out, I'll do my best too. And thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.